Okay, guys, I think we're finished up here as a Wednesday practice. We moved everything up slightly a little bit today as the storm seems to be speeding up a little bit, approaching Gainesville a little bit quicker. So I do think as far as the last couple of days practice, I do think that we've had good energy. There's no question yesterday and today were two of our better practices. Just relative to rhythm, I think everybody's getting used to the routine and certainly executing a little bit better. I think we got to keep it simple, right? We just got to keep doing the work. I think sometimes we get caught up in distractions. We need to simplify. We need to narrow our focus on what's important today and work hard at those things. I think it's important that we continue to be consistent and one task at a time, day by day, and continue to move forward here. So we obviously, all the people relative to the hurricane are in our thoughts and prayers. Tomorrow, our players will be off completely. So they'll be, sheltering tonight and then certainly preparing for what we think may be the worst of the storm tomorrow. And then we'll kind of proceed with our schedule Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So that's where we're at. What questions do we have here?
All right, guys, make sure to send me your questions to the chat. And for now, we're going to start with Mark Long.
Hi, Coach. How have you been able to handle and balance maybe guys being concerned with families and friends and whatnot versus being focused on the task at hand?
Well, I think, we, number one, just making ourselves available. I think making the players aware that we want to be there for them and do anything and everything we can do to help them, assist them. So GatorMate has helped us with that. Rennell Brown in particular has done a nice job. We asked the players earlier in the week, to kind of keep us up to date relative to potential issues. As the storm has moved, we think that's 15 or 16 guys on the team that have families maybe that might get, heavy exposure, some of which who have already evacuated or whatever the case may be. So I think a lot of this will be post storm, we'll see what kind of damage we have. I think that's where we really can assist the families as an organization.
Go to Zach Alberti.
Hey, Coach. Some changes in the secondary this week. Can you just talk about Jaden getting a start at corner and Kamari at safety?
Yeah, no, I think Jaden has been very much a work in progress as he's kind of made his return to play. He's done everything that he's been asked to do. He's worked extremely hard. I think Jaden is a guy I've got a ton of respect for. You talk about what he's been through from an injury perspective. He had a knee in high school, had a knee here, had a kind of a minor knee issue in the summertime, and then he's been on that path to recovery. So Jaden was one of the better players that we had on our team in spring practice, in my opinion. I was very impressed with him as a player. It's no surprise to me. He showed pretty quickly here that he is very capable. So I'm excited to watch him play. I'm excited how he can impact our team.
And then, what's Trey Dean's status? I saw he wasn't included in the safeties.
No, he's injured. Trey is injured and won't be available for the game this week.
And then the last thing for me, what will you and the team do just with the extra day, I guess, that you have on Saturday?
Well, the players are completely off. The facility, will be somewhat open, but our players, the number one thing here is the safety of our players, the families of the staff. We'll wake up tomorrow morning and kind of assess what the conditions are like. I know a lot of our staff will be prepared to work from home. We're going to really compartmentalize here a little bit and work on future opponents a little bit, make up for some of the time maybe that we'll lose on Sunday.
Thanks, Billy.
Kevin Wells.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, you remarked at the beginning of this how you guys have responded well. They've been staying focused. They've really tried to kind of grasp the concept you guys are teaching this week. Have you found it been difficult to try to keep them, and their attention good and everything compartmentalized, or have you seen some kind of, strays because of the hurricane and maybe this is new for them?
I think kids are sometimes more resilient than adults are, just to be quite honest. And, I think this group, they enjoy practice. They're competitors. I don't know that it's not a little bit healthy to some degree to have something to do, to stay on task. And then obviously we're doing everything we can do to help support them. In particular, tonight, Kelsey Gomes and Josh Thompson, have worked extremely hard to provide resources for them. The training room, we're all parts of the organization here have kind of raised their level a little bit to support the players in this time. So the number one thing at the top of the list here is the safety of our players and staff and the families. So, we'll turn the page here once the storm is through and focus on what's next.
And right aside from safety and just trying to kind of keep their mind off of any kind of negative stuff, what's your message to them to say, hey guys, we have another extra day to prepare? Is that pretty vital for you guys in your game plan this week?
I think that there'll be some benefit to the recovery, in my opinion. I tell you, one of the things was unique about our time at Louisiana is we played every number of day turnaround you can imagine, right? 5 days, 6 days, 8, 10, 17. Heck, we've had unbelievable schedules relative to the midweek TV games. So I think this is normal to come up with a unique schedule. So I don't necessarily think there's going to be any issues here. There'll be some advantages, in my opinion.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank y'all.
Go to Nick Delatorre.
Coach, replacing Trey Dean, do you envision that being mainly Kamari, or is that Kamari and Donovan and trying to get some more guys some experience back there?
Yeah, I think we have those guys bracketed, at that position. So you can anticipate to see both players.
Thanks, Coach.
Edgar Thompson.
Yeah, Billy, the message on just kind of whittling things down to the simplest terms, why is that? Do you think there's just the kids are getting distracted a little bit, or why is that message there? I mean, I'm not questioning. I mean, it's a good message, but what's the genesis of it, I guess?
I think it's I think in the world we live in today, it's half the battle, and I think our younger generation, in my opinion, has more potential distractions than at any other time in history. I mean, I think about how I grew up. I don't know about how you guys grew up, but the world we live in now is a lot different, right? And I think equipping our players and really, trying to promote an environment where we can stay focused and create priorities and wake up and execute, and focus on the task at hand. As simple as that sounds, I think that it gets overlooked. And, I think there's most people in this world aren't willing to do what's required to be different, right? To accomplish something significant, right? You truly, if you want to be elite, if you want to go be amongst the very best in the country, you got to have a different mindset and a different approach, right? So, I think for us, it's about simplifying, right? And really narrowing our focus. What's going to help us improve? What's going to help us get to where we want to be as individuals, as position groups, as units, as an entire team. And I think all these things that we talk about in the game of football carry over to life. So, I think being persistent, being consistent, I think is really important. It's one of the attributes that we're hopeful our players learn from football.
I had 3 channels and used payphones, Billy, so that takes me back. But what is like the goal setting? I mean, I know you want to have the best day and the 1%, Ricky talks about getting 1% better each day, but what is like the goal you set for these guys?
I don't necessarily know what you mean by that.
Big picture. Do you let big picture come into it ever?
Yeah, no, I think improvement. I mean, we're still at a place. I think as a team here, we're trying to teach better. We're trying to coach better, play better. We're trying to have more self-discipline. We're trying to have more detail, better communication, better fundamentals and techniques. I think that ultimately, what do we want from football at the University of Florida? We want to have an organization that creates life-changing impact on the player. So creating that type of environment and that type of culture is ultimately what we're trying to do here. The result will come.
Thank you, Billy.
Guys, we got time for a few more. We'll go to Kevin Brockway.
Yeah, Coach. The defensive communication this week in practice, have you seen strides there?
I think so. I think we've got some young players at some critical positions. I think that's part of one of our issues is that we have, Bentrell and Bernie are veteran players, and then Rashad Torrance obviously is a veteran player, but in practice right now, Shamar James and Scooby, Kamari, Dom, Miguel Mitchell, a lot of these guys that are at the high communication positions are young players, right? So I think they continue to learn every day, right? A little something different and new. So I don't know that we're ever going to be not learning something relative to communication. I think that always can improve.
Do you think, and just on this theme of simplification, do you think about simplifying scheme, or do you want your guys to work up to it?
I think we're committed to being pretty versatile. I think we've always been a team that's multiple, that runs a lot. We create a lot of variables for the opponent. Big picture wise, we're going to stick with that. I think we're not far away, right? We're talking about one player on occasion. So we played really good defense at times this year. Don't forget that. Okay. So I think we got to have 11 for 11, right? That's why it's a team game. And, that's the approach.
All right, we'll finish up with France.
Billy, this week in practice, have you seen the guys really becoming aware of the fact that, in the 2 losses, those are both winnable games if guys make the commitment, eliminate the silly mistakes, because, you had some big mistakes, but as you pointed out, it's the small mistakes that add up consistently. Are they becoming aware that they're not that far away, but they got to eliminate these kind of mistakes to be the winning team you want them to be?
Yeah, no, I think that's been the focus with the staff. As I like to say, we're trying to eliminate the bad football, talking about mental errors, misalignments, poor communication, bad fundamentals and techniques, bad decision-making within the play, and just playing the situation smarter, taking care of the ball, making, good key decisions as returners. I mean, we've got a laundry list of things that, we need to eliminate each week. Last week's game in particular, I thought we were really close, but there's 12 or 15 plays in the game where Florida's beating Florida. So we got a smart group here, I think they're very aware of what the issues are, and I think they're working hard to address those.
Thank you, Billy.
Hey, before I go here, I know Matt Baker's down there right in the middle of this thing. So, Matt, anything we can do as you get, through this deal, hopefully you guys stay safe, and anything we can do post hurricane, let us know. Okay.
All right.
Take
Thank you,
care.
Coach.
Billy,
Thank
Billy,
you.
did your wife think she was done prepping for hurricanes when she left Louisiana?
Man, I've been in a few where I thought my roof was going to come off, but no, there's nothing to play around with. I think certainly seen some. Yeah, it's nothing to play around with. I'm just hoping everybody's safe, and hopefully we can turn the page here pretty soon.